In this trade, right at the open, they were trying to push lower. And I was talking about on my Telegram that they might want to test that POC, that's the settlement, and then you have a weekly value area level there. You have yesterday's value area low down there. That's the thick green line. I just thought they might want to pull down into this area, and you had that poor low from yesterday, so that looked like exhaustion. And the way that this played out in the aftermarket here, I thought they might want to dip down in here and start maybe working their way up from there. So, like I said, right at the open, they tried pushing, they couldn't get it. But as we moved back up here and you retested, if you look at that 5 minute, they retested that value high up there. As we started moving back down, you can see that little bump up there in the 5 minute chart. So I entered on the way, when we started coming back from that. And here I'm looking to get, at least down here to the value area low. So just basically another rotation. But then I thought there was a good chance that we would push lower, because I thought for sure that they wanted to test, they would want to test this area one more time, or people would be looking at it. Maybe they're looking at that poor low down there. And right here, we started pushing through. So I took one at the value area low just to kind of take one off and have something out of this. And here I'm looking, because I probably want to take one about my 40 ticks, or like I always talk about, if I get past that, I wouldn't want to give that back. So I just want to be prepared where that level's at. And I didn't really think we should be back up over. You saw me bring that stop down, but I realized quickly that was going to be way too tight. So I moved that back up, and I didn't think we should be back up over the VWAPs here. So kind of the way it moved up, it created that poor low. I thought it should, bounce out of those VWAPs, basically just like it did there. So I didn't think it should be over the top of that. Then we got to my 40 ticks. I took another contract there. This thing keeps teasing me right here, where it comes to my target and doesn't fill it. And then I finally got filled on that last one. And this one, I think the way it came right to that VWAP, that could have been it. So as it kind of pushes around here, I give it one more chance to kind of push through there. And, this is where I want to start thinking about taking a long position. So I want to, being cautious, or, thinking about how far am I really going to hold on to this? So I close it there, and we do come down, test that. We get through the settlement and get through that weekly value area. So this is me going back the other direction. I put in a couple here just to see if, because it kind of swept that level. So I thought that's kind of where they were looking. As we started pushing up, I added two more. And then again, if they break this level, obviously it's over, and maybe they're pushing down to the yesterday's value area low. But this just, the way it was pushing down to, it was, it wasn't just picking up speed. It was kind of, it'd go a little lower. You'd see some buying coming in, and it'd fail, and it'd go a little bit lower. So I felt like this was kind of like the last line in the sand here, before it would maybe push all the way to that overnight low, maybe, or at least yesterday's value area low, which is that thick green line. Then automatically I was looking for the VWAPs. So this is I call this the return to value trade, basically, but it's, it's a rotation. So I'm watching right here to make sure we get through that value area low. A lot of times it'll reject out of there if it doesn't want to do this. And your first target would be these VWAPs. That was the RTH VWAP. So you're kind of watching to see, how hard does this reject out of here? And you can see that it's obviously not being rejected. So this is sped up about 4 times too. So you have to imagine that it was running a little bit slower. It wasn't quite so obvious, but it's obviously gaining ground. So I took one there at the session VWAP, just because I thought, the way that's coming into that, keep in mind it was moving slower, but the way it's coming into that previous session, the B high there, this is where you should take some at the VWAPs. You got that's the cash session POC there. And then right in here is the cash session value high. So I go ahead and take one there. Now I'm looking basically for that session POC. Look on the right side of the TPO chart. You can see that delta is just ripping there. So right there is where I'm looking to take that last one. And again, kind of the way this was moving, if you're looking at that 5-minute chart, I thought it should come back and maybe pretty much like it did. I thought it might even test a little bit lower. It definitely shouldn't be under the VWAPs. Now I just kind of choke it out here and go ahead and close it when it gets close enough.